Hi guys, it's Aaron and Simon with Assets and Arbitrage. I know that this is a weird show today, y'all. We weren't able to go live yesterday, and we're not going to be able to go live tomorrow, so we didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk with you today. We've had a lot of appointments that we've had to make, some medical, some business.
Yeah.
Um, but right now, we are here in the city. We are at this great smokers lounge, and we had a chance to talk with some expats
Okay.
about crypto,
Yeah.
mainly Bitcoin. Of course, there's always that one XRP, right?
Shout out to the chief.
So
Get you that thing.
we are trying to do, thank you, baby. We are trying to do some boots on the ground here. As I get some stuff taken care of medically, and Simon, of course, always has business.
Yeah.
That's what men of value. What do they call you? High value men?
Men of value, I guess.
No. Men of value are the ones like Sean, and you're the high value man.
Oh.
According to Kevin Samuels. So he's always got to meet with the client. There's always a consultation while he's supporting me in a few things. So, hey, Les Square, how you doing? Thank you. Oh, look at you in the middle of the day.
Yeah. And so
Shout out to New Jersey.
New Jersey in the house. I spent a long time in New Jersey.
Too long. He should have been at home in Cincinnati with his wife.
Yeah, Fort Dix, New Jersey, man. And I think
One big correctional facility, right?
Yeah, I think it's called Lumberton, New Jersey, if I remember correctly. And so, yeah, I spent some time out there in New Jersey. So shout out to New Jersey. It might be a little noise and stuff. We got people in the background making margaritas and stuff, and a lot of people dancing. And so I don't know, there's some kind of dance music. But we just wanted to come to you, man, with some real information. Like Erin likes to do, she likes to let people get in the room. If we do, and then
I'm not gonna wait for the standard because we are going live at an unstandard day and time. They're not familiar with it, but we are just gonna give it to maybe about the 5-7 minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
It'll give some people time to come in the room. We do realize a lot of you are at work. Oh, our margaritas are here. That's a big cup.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be little.
Yeah, so we got some big dog margaritas in the middle of the day. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. You show. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, nice. Margarita limon for me and for my beautiful wife. She has a strawberry margarita. Strawberry. Fresa, as they call it in Mexico. Word for strawberry is fresa. So. Looks really good. I'm gonna taste it. I'm not a margarita drinker. But okay.
Después en vivo.
Oh my goodness.
Comida. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, show it off. I showed off your margaritas, so let them check it out again if you need to. Go ahead.
They put 4 shots of tequila in it. That's what he said. No.
Go ahead. Do what you want.
Taste the tequila.
I got the youngin' over here trying to taste the margarita.
Let's Square live right now. That's how I was telling the guy, like, I'm gonna order as soon as the live is finished. We got you a Fanta. Baby, that's not virgin.
Jalapeños ya no voy a tener. No sé si gusta ordenar algo más.
She is ordering at the moment. Entrada, which is like a starter. What do you call them? Entradas, but what's the?
Tastes like tequila.
Yeah. A starter, a sampler.
It's a starter. It's like the starter.
So yeah, we out here in the streets. Everybody, it's a beautiful day, beautiful sunny day.
And it's hot too.
It's hot a little bit. So
it's too hot for this long sleeve bodysuit for sure.
It's hot. I got my compression shirt on, but I need that. I need that for my shoulder. I got the shoulder injuries. Football, y'all know what I'm talking about.
All right, we're almost there in the 5-minute mark. There are about 16 people in the room, which I was actually kind of surprised about. I'm glad you guys are packing on in here for the middle of the day. But as we were talking, the expats, they didn't want to be on camera. We can understand that. They weren't camera ready, right?
No, not at all.
There were some things that came up in a lot of the conversation that we had with them that we wanted to kind of bring to your attention to see if it's something, and we're sure that it is. Gracias, senor. Okay. Y'all be patient with us because we do have to interact with the wait staff. He's gonna bring you a glass and some ice. So un vaso y hielo, hielito.
Come on, man. Oh, he's drinking out the can.
There were certain themes that kept coming up as we were talking to the expats, and I just drew a blank. And we wanted to bring it to your attention because we know it's an issue that you guys are having, but it's really an issue with them because they are working on intentionally planting new flags in new places.
Yes.
And obviously, crypto is a huge part of, and I'm not going to say crypto, Bitcoin is a huge part of their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought it would be good to maybe have a little discourse with you guys. We definitely want you to chime in as you usually do and just kind of get a better understanding on some of the issues that we can kind of work out.
Okay.
Concerning Bitcoin and relationships.
So yeah, she said it right there. Bitcoin and relationships. That's going to be a big deal because if you are dealing with Bitcoiners in the community, you have to understand how those two things may merge together, right? So
wait, baby, before we get there,
all right,
because we're not shooting on the right day at the right time, we're not doing the right thing. We got to do what we normally do. Give them your announcements because I have an announcement to make to you once you make your announcement.
Okay. Be stacking, be stacking ounces, be stacking Toshis, anything else you're into, be stacking. I mean,
so,
be very, what do you say, man? Have discipline.
And consistency.
Yeah, so you want to have discipline in that. Dollar cost apps and things, you can set it up where it just takes it out of your bank account and you don't even have to worry about it. You know, and it could be as little as $10. So be stacking diligently with discipline.
You about to make his day. I always say your name wrong. He taught it to me. Hematopoiesis, I think. It's the blood thing. You remember that?
Yeah.
The metaphysical blood.
Yeah.
Big ups to the Simon family. Thanks to you, I bought my first batch of ASEs.
Hey, that's
May the
what I'm talking
blessings
about.
flow for you all eternity.
Yeah.
Well, let's
that's what I'm
praise
talking
God.
about.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow initially.
Yeah, and I know.
Thank you.
We just read an article the other day, just speaking on ASEs. It was an article about. It was. We got some ice. It was an article about a 1990 ASE now being worth $2,000. So yeah, stack those ASCs, and those are real. Always those Canadian Maple Leaf, Krugerrands, what's the other one? Philharmonic. Yeah, be stacking those for sure. Yeah,
Libertars.
Libertars.
We out there shout them out.
Yeah, Mexican Libertars. Be stacking those, man. So congrats to you for getting those ASCs, man. That was.
Let's give you a round of applause. We're gonna take a drink to that.
Yeah, that was a good look. That was a good look, son.
And we had the pleasure of talking with your spouse about 2 shows ago. So we always want to see more couples. Thank you so much for joining our show. Thank you so much for sharing it with your spouse. Les Square, where's the best place to visit in Mexico? There's lots of great places to visit in Mexico. We don't want to digress, but I do want to address our cousin. So kind of Les Square, I'm going to answer all your questions in one sitting. Best place to visit, you should always visit Mexico City, right? We keep talking about, it's great to take vacations. When you take vacations, be in vacation mode. But with all of the people who are trying to travel nowadays, my husband is absolutely on point when he tells you to please travel with intention. Travel with intention. Gracias. Travel with intention.
With the most intention, right? Mexico City, it depends on the year. It goes back and forth, but the largest city in the Americas, sometimes it's Sao Paulo, Brazil. But we're talking about basically about 21 million people. larger than New York City, LA, Chicago, all these places. So it's a large financial hub, and so you want to explore that, right?
And Les Square, if you like going to Manhattan, this is like a stone's throw away. It's not a stone's throw away, I know. People from other parts of the country would think Manhattan's a stone throw away from New Jersey, but it's not. Um, you'll definitely love Mexico City. Mexico City, the architects that put Mexico City together are the same architects who put Manhattan together. So it gives you a feel of Manhattan circa 1990s. Very nostalgic feel. They are constantly working. There's lots of green spaces.
Yeah.
And we travel with the intention of planting flags. We don't necessarily travel for vacation. And like I said, my husband's he's always got a consultation. He's always got to meet with a client. He does a lot of work in the community, not just for Bitcoin, but for investments and investment advice. And they don't care that he's not a financial advisor because they all have the same story about dealing with a financial advisor. And they're getting a lot more progress with hubby and a lot of his consultation advice. But Les Square, you know, Cancun is beautiful. Puerto Vallarta is beautiful. Don't go to Acapulco, not right now.
Yeah.
No, but they had a really bad.
Yes, yeah.
storm or
You
something.
don't want that out there.
Merida, which is South Mexico, is really, really nice. So there's lots of places in Mexico that you can go, but if you want to come and just kind of be in business mode, tap into the crypto community, you definitely want to come to Mexico City, and you definitely want to reach out to your cousins before you get here so we can give you the best advice. We can meet you down there.
Yeah.
If need be, your cousins will come get you from the airport so that you can kind of transition here on your flag planting trip.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for people's leisurely vacations. We're not for that.
And we could go, I know we talked about it, the Bitcoin Embassy Bar. Friend of the show, Lorena
Bitcoin.
Lorena Ortiz or Lori Bitcoin. Yeah, so, we can link
We
up
take
and do
you to
stuff like
the
that.
Bitcoin Embassy Bar. If any of the cousins, anybody watching this show right now, if you send us an email, the email's always in the drop down. If you send us an email and say, hey, I am coming to Mexico City, I want to tap into the Bitcoin Embassy Bar, we will go out of our way to get you from the airport. We'll go out of our way, take you to the Bitcoin Embassy Bar for the meetups. Meetups are typically Thursday evenings. But we will be happy to help you in your flag planting journey. We're not here to help people and be your concierge on your vacation. So unfortunately, we won't do that. But if you are coming on vacation and you just want to meet up with us, we can dinner and stuff like that at the Bitcoin Embassy Bar. We're happy to do that. But I'm not going to spend time helping you flag plant if you're just kind of on a leisurely vacation.
Right.
2, Les Square wants to know what an ASC is, and we have to get out of the habit of doing that.
Okay, American Silver Eagle. So when you go check that out on something like AppMax, Miles Franklin, it's American Silver Eagle. There's a 0.99995 fine silver. This means that the fourth nine means it has been refined one more time, and it's been struck one more time. And if you get into that, you got to get into things like about how many times has your coin been struck to see the detail. Because the more times. Okay. So yeah.
Times have you been struck?
I mean, so.
Well, I got 4 kids, so let's do the math.
So, the more times your coin has been struck, the more detailed there is, and so that's why you get sometimes strike. You'll get first strike American Silver Eagles from the mint, maybe like a Philadelphia mint or a San Francisco mint, and then you'll get emergency strike when they're running out of ASCs, American Silver Eagles. So how many times have they been struck? And then you get your MS70 Silver Eagles. Oh, they have been struck the most times, and they have the most detail, and they're the finest quality of American. They're the most refined of the American Silver Eagles. MS70 Silver Eagles. They're going to cost you a little bit more. Might cost you $60 to get an MS70 Silver Eagle, and it will come in a cartridge, I call it. So don't open it. Leave it in the cartridge. It comes with a serial number, right?
Mm-hmm.
To let you know when it was struck, where it was struck, and what it meant. And so, you know, if you get silver eagles, also look into your MS-70 silver eagles.
Did you tell
Numismatic silver eagles.
Did you talk about the importance of universally recognizable, baby?
Oh yeah, they're universally recognizable. So if you go somewhere and you want to sell your silver eagle in another country or something, it's known that, oh, that's American silver eagle. You know, because sometimes these companies have their own. They have their own silver rounds.
Nine Fine Mint,
Yeah.
AdMax, J and Bullion, they're all gonna have their own printed
Yeah.
silver and
those
hand-poured silver.
So those they have to be double checked. They have double checked those.
And the importance of universally recognizable, it's just that it allows you a lot more flexibility
Yep.
if you have to offload or sell, right? Liquidate your asset. It just gives you a broader options in offloading it. Money has very specific characteristics. That's why fiat currency isn't considered money, because it doesn't check all of the boxes.
It's missing one.
Sound money, Bitcoin, precious metals, sound money have multiple characteristics and attributes that categorize it as money. And
Okay.
one of those characteristics is the ability to be universally recognizable.
Yes.
So, for instance, in the United States, US dollars are universally recognizable. However, we are coming to a time, and we don't want to get away from our show, but these points are very important as they're coming up. We're coming to a time now, and I want to talk about that article during the show as well, where as countries are offloading the US dollar, that means that the US dollar is losing the characteristic and attribute of being universally recognizable geographically.
Exactly.
Right? Just like you have probably never seen a Mexican peso, much less a Filipino peso, right? It's not universally recognizable. It's only recognizable in the country that it's from. Many other countries in the United States do have US dollars as their legal tender, El Salvador being one of them. But as time is starting to go on and people are dumping the dollar, you are going to notice that the dollar is losing that attribute of being universally recognizable, thus falling even further from any ability to be considered money.
Right. And so I read a story this morning. I was going to read it on here. It's kind of boring, but I'll just give you the headline. BRICS, you know, BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, have done $260 billion in trade without using the US dollar. They're using local currencies, things like that. Every day they are going further and further to usurp the US dollar.
Every day.
Every day these articles come up. So,
and that is going to create, we call it an economic winter, but if we wanted to be precision of language, it would be like an economic apocalypse. It would be apocalyptic for the United States. That has been, I hate to say, I hate to quote Biggie, but your reign on top was shorter than Leprechaun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
if you go back and look at the history of money, money lasts, when I say money, fiat currency, lasts about, they say on average, 47 years. So the United States has passed that. And so it's time they're down 98.5% since what, 1912?
yes.
So that's what your fiat currency is doing. That's why you have to put your money somewhere, so you can keep your spending.
Hold on, family. We having some technical difficulty. Hold on 1 second. Baby, let me use my purse instead. If you can just move that. Move the whole bag. I'm sorry, family. We just gotta that way. Oh, sorry, y'all.
Yeah, we forgot our
The production assistant / technical assistant got to do shit on the fly.
Yeah, no stand.
Okay, I do want to shout out some people here real quick, because apparently y'all be watching the show, but be hopping in the chat, so your cousin can't get to know you. We have an L1L who said, "Hey, it is great to see you guys during the day," which means you've been watching.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining the chat, cousin.
Yeah, we
The
sunshine.
Black Crypto Chick I love that handle, mama. It says, amen, fam. Travel with intention and do everything with intention. So, cousin, fly handle, if you come to Mexico City, holla at your girl.
Yeah, that's good information. Salute. Salute to that.
Let Freedom Ring is our longest supporter. I cannot express how heartfelt we feel whenever we see Let Freedom Ring join the chat. Let Freedom Ring has been with us since I think the single digit shows when we're trying to figure it out, get content together, put the brand together.
Yeah.
We so appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime we see your name. Cousin Jake, how is my Bitcoin baby?
Oh, yeah. He got the newborn.
How is Mrs. Teach doing? How's she feeling? You better be getting up in the middle of the night and helping her too. Okay? He was good for that. Even when we had Sean 22 years ago, I remember like day 2, he got up. I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I wanted to make the bottle for you. I said, well, I didn't pump the milk yet, but...
Yeah, you know.
Okay, he was like, oh, I just know I was told in the class to make sure I got up with you. So he was really, really good about these children. That's why I gave him so many.
Yeah, and
he made it easy.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was working night shifts, so.
So he was up anyway.
I kind of was up anyway, just watching TV.
But he helped me a lot, and that's why I just keep. Probably not now anymore, but that's another story for another day. Now let's get to the meat potato. We are here for those of you who joined the room. There's 30 people in the room right now, baby, at the 21-minute mark, my bad. We are here in the city. I got some medical appointments. Hubby has some consultation appointments that he decided to take on while he was here to meet some of his clients face to face while he supports me in my medical appointments. But we found this great smokers lounge. You can kind of see we're here now. And we were able to talk to three?
Okay.
It was 3 expats, right?
Yeah.
I think the fourth lady is from here. That's just his girlfriend. They're in the crypto community. They're trying to do some flag planting. One of them was familiar with our show, so that made us excited because they recognized us, and that's how we started the conversation. I felt like a little celebrity. He came over like, Aaron, Simon? And we were looking at him like, can we help you? He's like, I watch your show.
I thought he was the Fed.
White dude too.
White guy run up on you know your name.
I didn't know your name. But he didn't know your government because he called you Simon. So I knew it wasn't the feds. But he was like, I watch your show on YouTube. It's just so nice to just kind of see you in real life. So we felt like, that's our made it moment, y'all. Anyway, as we were talking with them, there were some issues that we realized that were common occurring themes in the conversation regarding relationships and Bitcoin while attempting to flag plant. But even if you're not flag planting, if you live in the United States, Bitcoin does have a profound effect on your relationship.
It does. It does indeed.
So where you want to start at, babe?
Well, I guess if you were looking to build a relationship, so you're 2 Bitcoiners, right? You're looking to start a relationship, you know, on the surface, that's a great thing. Like, okay, we both were like-minded, right? And we can talk about Bitcoin. We can talk about different ways you can use Bitcoin and invest in all those things. But as you get on down and longer into your relationships, now what happens? What happens? So you're down longer in your relationship, and you know when you get married, like us and stuff like that, you have to merge your finances. And it may come a time where you may, if you're in a relationship long enough and the relationship turns to marriage, where you may have to merge your finances, including your Bitcoin. Because for paperwork reasons, she would need to know your keys and you need to know her keys.
But here's the dilemma, and this is where the conversation kind of took a little branch. This generation isn't into 50-50. I'm sorry, this generation is into 50-50. Right? They're not, don't tell anyone you're dating about your Bitcoin. That's Cousin Jay. That's exactly what came up, is that in this dating era, even if you're serious, muchísimas gracias, señor. Por favor, una más Fanta? In this dating era,
Yeah.
por favor, una Fanta? Una
I
más?
feel you.
Gracias.
I feel you, Jake. You don't tell them about it on the
Don't
first
tell
date.
'em about it,
Not on
no.
the first date.
Right.
But
And this is an era where women feel comfortable asking men what their salary is on the first date when you're not even allowed to ask your coworkers those questions.
yeah, so and I think it's because I watch some of these videos, these relationship videos, and it's always I need a man who makes this amount of money, like 100,000 seems to be the number that's tossed around the most. And I always thought, like, that's improper. That's not even polite. Like, who told you to ask these questions? Now, if a man is working a certain job, if he works for the post office,
Like a
yeah,
publicly listed salary
you can kind of
gauge.
how much he's making. Got it. But if he doesn't work in something public, he works in the private sector, if he works, you know, in some kind of business, and you really don't know, it's improper. It's not polite to ask somebody how much money you make. Right? It's just not right.
Two, the idea behind it is also, to me, the audacity, right? So when Simon and I met, and obviously we kind of even met before text messaging was a real thing.
Yeah.
He used to have to physically come to my dorm room to talk to me. We did have cell phones, but we lived in dorms together, so obviously he preferred the face-to-face interaction. When we got together and we moved out the dorms, we had Sean. We were pregnant with Sean. We moved out the dorms, and we did, right? In our one-bedroom apartment, we thought, like, okay, like, you do this and I'll do that. And then a little bit before we were able to upgrade to the two-bedroom, por favor, we were on the waiting list. He said, this isn't the way to do it. My parents don't do it like this. And I told him, I said, my parents surely don't do it like this. My parents have one checking account. All of the money went into that. And whatever needed to be done for the household was done for the household. There was no such thing as your money and my money. It's our money. It's our house. With that being said, though, right, I want to say from the era I'm from, I guess, I would never kick my husband out the house because it's our house.
Yeah.
Right? This is our bed. This is our bookshelf. These are our spoons. Little stuff, right? This is our bookmark, even though I'm the one who reads, and everything is commingled. Because when we got married, and the two shall become one. That is what the word of God says. I am really Mistress Gordon Alexander Simon. Not to put your whole government out there, but, and we've lost that. Women don't understand that. When my mom had credit cards back in the 80s, her credit cards said Mrs., which is short for mistress, for those of you who don't know what that means, and it had my father's name on it. Right? Didn't even have her name on it. Women didn't have their own credit cards. They had credit cards in the names of their husbands. It just said mistress on it. Yep. To let you know that she is the wife and she's authorized to access any funds that he has access to. So I was telling Simon, I wish that I had access to this generation's young ladies so that we can turn around some of the narratives that they're getting wrong, some of the perceptions they have that don't make sense. People are they keep saying, I'll submit to my husband if he's a six-figure earner. And I said, I don't think you understand what submit really means in a marriage. And I don't think you realize that when you submit to him in a marriage, he typically submits to you as well. And there is a huge value in marriage. And I noticed that this generation's women don't value marriage. Now, apparently, I'm some weird outlier that I've been married to my husband for 23 years. I've been with him since I was 19. It was longer than that, right? I've been with him since I was 19. I'm 43 now. And those type of relationships, we got married. I was married. I was 21. I was 20 when I got married. He was 21. So those type of marriages that young to last this long, not that we didn't have hiccups, right? We had hell on wheels. We're now enjoying heaven.
But the thing is, if you look at the macro, you zoom out. So eventually, if you are like she said earlier, with intention, If you're dating with intention, right?
Dating with, and not too many people are dating casually, and they'll tell you that, right? They know upfront intentionally, I'm just dating you casually.
Yeah, if you're a man out here and you're looking for a wife, actively looking for a wife, and you're a woman out here actively looking for a husband, dating with intention. So if you get together, eventually, like I said, zoom out, eventually 5-10 years from now, you may be married, you may have a family. So if you were a Bitcoiner and I was a Bitcoiner, then you have to learn how to merge your Bitcoin investments together. Learn how to, if we all working out of one checking account and your dollar cost averaging on automated service, like let's use Swan Coin, for example. Learn it's not about whose Bitcoin is whose Bitcoin, right?
But that's the problem in this generation. That's all that it's about. It is about your money is our money, but my money's my money. And I said, I don't know how your households operate like that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Right. If your money pays all the bills, then my money is our disposable income or our investment income or a mix. You understand what I'm saying?
You have to get that mindset.
And they're not approaching it that way.
Yeah, you have to get that mindset, No reason to be hiding your Bitcoin from your significant other, because if something happens to you, because something can happen to you any day of the week, we got to remember that.
But even in the chat, baby, they're saying, like, Let Freedom Ring is saying, Jake, I agree. Don't tell anyone about your Bitcoin.
But if something happens to you tomorrow, your Bitcoin's gone forever.
Then they rather it be gone forever than to give it to that other person.
At least give it to you.
Jay said, I only teach my daughters the proper way to date. The other women I laugh at. Every man for themselves and God for everyone. That's my favorite saying, Cousin Jay. That's why you keep saying it.
Yeah. But yeah, if you don't, leave it to somebody. Don't let it just expire and nobody can ever.
So you're married, right? And we got the chance to meet Mrs. Jake.
Yeah.
And we've been along for the baby Bitcoin journey, right? So is your Bitcoin in her name? That way, if something happens to her, or like, does she just have access to it? If you don't mind me asking, because you are married, you're not dating her. That's your wife.
That's very
how you kind of have it set up, or idealistically, how you would like to have it set up.
That's a very personal question, Aaron.
But I mean, that's Cousin Jake. He'll tell you, he don't miss his words. That's a very personal question. So, my husband has every single thing in my name because he knows, even if I don't know how to explain it to y'all, but we wouldn't be good divorced because our new spouses would hate us. And, I'm not going to ever leave them high and dry. Don't matter what happened between us. I got you and you got me. If you single and you need somebody to take care of you, I'm going to be there. New husband, just be mad. You just going to have to be mad. I'm just saying, in the worst case scenario, we already know that our bond is so.
Well, help me out, chat room. I am a man of the Most High, and so if anything happened, I would never take on another woman. So that's already known. Her getting a new husband, I mean, that's her thing. That's her get down.
I'm just saying, worst case scenario, we wouldn't do good separately. Is
chat
my
room.
point.
That's
chat room. Don't listen to him. I'm going to die with some Bitcoin. That means the network will reap the benefits. So he's saying, but most of the Bitcoin and all of the assets she can get. So she does have access to all of it, but they're married. So are there any chatters that are willing to be transparent with the cousins that are in a long-term relationship, but you're not married, and tell us how that functions? Because with the people, and they're not on camera, so we can talk their business. Don't nobody know who they are. They were all 50, right? Whatever you came with, what you leave with. As we build together, we're not building together. We're building individually at the same time. So you're not really building together.
Right.
And Simon and I were kind of like, but y'all are in long-term relationships with these people? And it's like, yeah, they live with them. I don't know. I personally don't understand the idea of playing house and not wanting to get married. If we live together and we have children together, what is keeping us from getting married? Are you looking for a better wife? Is she looking for a better husband? I would need somebody to explain that to me, because there's an aspect to it to me that I need somebody to help me make it make sense. But But moving on, Bitcoin doesn't only affect marital relationships. Oh, real quick, I just want to touch on something that used to happen in the fire department all the time.
Okay.
I remember my husband was telling me laughingly that a lot of times firefighters would join the fire department, they have this wife, they have these children. And typically when you do your paperwork, you don't really do it ever again, right? Now granted, you have open enrollment every single year, but nothing really changes, so it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. Now you got divorce, you got a new wife and new children. The firefighter unfortunately passes away, right, in some dire situation, whether it's health or unfortunately, in active duty.
Yeah, on the job.
And all of the benefits go to sometimes the first wife, and you want your third wife, and have a whole new set of children with this third wife.
Yeah, so there was people around who used to make sure they would tell you, like she said, open enrollment. If the situation has changed,
Update your paperwork.
Update your paperwork, and you can do it by percentage. If you still want to leave your ex-wife some, a little percentage, you gotta leave your new wife, your new kids, your kids with your ex-wife. You can break it down in percentages so that everybody gets some.
But
right?
They never did it.
They did, but they had people come around who would tell you it's open enrollment. You got to do it if you got married again, because they were notorious for being.
And far too often, you would hear the story that the ex-wife, he on his third wife, ex-wife got all of the benefits. Second ex-wife didn't get nothing. Current third wife didn't get nothing, and it's a whole big fight.
Right, because guys don't think they're gonna die at 48.
No, they don't.
Or
earlier than that.
You say, I got time. Everybody thinks that, but do you really have time? You don't know the time that you have. That's why we always say be on top of your game, because your time is not guaranteed. It is not guaranteed. We go down our timeline and we see young people we went to high school with, all the stuff, we scroll, dying. So your time is not guaranteed. Take care of business now. Right now, today, take care of your business so that when you pass, stuff goes where it goes. It doesn't have to go to probate court and all this stuff. And, people are fighting for it in the family. And possession is 9/10 of the law, right? So, and I say that because in the middle class Black America, their biggest asset is their home.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if
and how many of them don't own one?
But
so there's no asset.
But what I'm saying is, if that person transitions,
yes.
And then you got siblings and stuff coming around, and children, whoever gets a hold of the house first, right, has possession of the house, even if it wasn't given to them, and then it's in probate. But also, people hold valuables in the house. You have access to valuables, right?
Hardware, right? KW1 is not on, but she's got hella hardware and stuff on all of them. So something as simple as that.
My mother, your mother, they used to like to keep a lot of cash in the house.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? $1,500, what? $2,000.
Like big cash. They have the emergency
so if
fund
somebody gets a hold of that house first, oh boy, they got the cash. Boom, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Even if your mother just said, "Oh, I didn't want it to go to you. I meant for it to go to her." Well, you got to be ready. Got to be ready, because anything can happen to you on any day, and people don't look at life like that. So,
So even on the Bitcoin juncture, we're really talking about Bitcoin, right? I get all the other assets people have, but Bitcoin is a tier 1 asset.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the big dogs. We're talking about your precious metals. For those of you who are now collecting precious metals, hemopoiesis, that's how you say it. Just got a batch of ASCs. I don't know if you did the depository or if you're holding it physically. You don't have to comment about that, but just understanding that if you have it physically, to have your paperwork in order for the transference of that asset in the event of your demise, right? So Bitcoin affects all relationships. For instance, for our circumstances, while he's saying that, typically men die before women, so I just have it set up that everything's in your name, so it's your property just in case something happens. Okay, cool. This is my Siamese twin. We go everywhere together. So there is a high likelihood that if something happened, it could potentially happen to both of us at the same time.
Not a high likelihood at all.
It is high. I think it's high.
I disagree with that.
It's higher than normal people.
I disagree.
Why you say that? I'm not saying a heart attack. We wouldn't go together, but
Nothing's going to happen.
understood. But just understand what I'm saying, right? If it's a car accident or a plane accident or something like that, the children have to understand what to do.
They go with us too. So I mean,
Yeah, but they're not with us all the time.
Tino goes with us everywhere.
Yeah, Tina goes with us everywhere. But the children have to know in the event of our demise, or even if it's just organically, right? You go, I go at some point. They need to know how to disperse the wealth between them and their children without animosity.
Yeah, without animosity, but
there's so much wealth to be distributed, there shouldn't be any animosity.
But with that being said, I want to say that if you get a situation like that, you have to keep updating your will, right? Like we talked about before, if you got a son who got 3-4 kids and the rest are single, then you might want to put a little bit more towards him, you know, because he has a bigger family. But update it and then, you know, disperse it between them. Have it written out, update it. Every child born used to update it, right? Talk about Kobe. I don't know how old that his daughter was, 6 months?
Capri, I think Capri's the baby. Y'all fact check me. But yeah, and Vanessa couldn't really get it taken care of because it was the pandemic, schools were closed.
Yeah.
It took almost a year to get that resolved.
And Kobe hadn't updated his
He didn't
will.
get a chance to
He
update
had
it
a will,
before
he
he
had
passed.
everything. He had everything.
And obviously he had every intention of getting to it.
Yeah, he's gonna get to it, but he didn't think he was gonna die in a helicopter crash. That's what I'm saying. Anything can happen on any day. So he didn't have his will set up to where she was in it. And so she had to fight for some rights, right? For Capri.
Yes.
And that's not saying he did a bad thing. It's just that.
And the attorney, if I'm correct in the article that I read, the attorney was able to do a retroactive.
Yeah.
So. And she was less than a year, so that probably wasn't difficult for the attorney.
Man was 41 years old. He didn't expect to die at 41, right?
No.
Not at all. And so anything can happen to any of us on any given day. So we got to be paperwork tight. Paperwork tight, y'all.
Cousin Jake said, don't play house and not build together. There's so many people doing that, though, Jake. They are playing house. And you're building and I'm building at the same time, but we're not building together because we both have you call it you used to say it all the time. You're moving in
No, you call it for me.
Where you have the idea that this isn't gonna work up front. You used to have a nice little saying for it.
You have to call it for me. I don't remember.
It'll come to me in a minute.
Okay, yeah.
But you know, you're looking for your best option. I'm looking for my best option. We're together, but if the best option comes along, we'll both jump ship in a heartbeat and break the household up and stuff, which is why we're not getting married. I'm looking for my high value 6-figure guy. You looking for your Instagram baddie.
Emma?
Right. No, I'm not saying in real life. I'm saying that this is what the scenarios are. So you're building and I'm building, but we're not building together. This is mine and this is yours. And then when there's an argument, it's, well, that's my bed you sleep on. And you like, well, that's my car you driving. And you know what I mean?
It gets ugly.
And it comes away from traditional, like, this is our house. That's our coaster. As mundane as that may sound, it's like, this is our coffee table. It's not mine. It's not yours. It don't matter who purchased it. The funds are commingled because you and I are supposed to be one.
True.
But when you're not married, you and I are not one. Now, there are many states that do domestic partnerships. Yes. But at the end of the day, you and I are not one. You're you and I'm me.
And, you know, I mean, just for the people, you know, there's certain things that are hers and certain things that are mine, right?
Like socks. Those are our socks.
Yeah, they wear my socks.
They're our hoodies.
Yeah,
What else do I wear?
Everything.
No, just your socks and your hoodies. I don't wear your shirts or nothing like that.
What? You know, this is her blow dryer, right? I don't want no.
Oh, that's true. This is my
Right.
this is my
Curl-
flat iron,
curl
right?
iron or something crazy.
But it's really ours because I might have taken his money and bought the curling
This is
iron
my
with it.
lawnmower, right?
This is my lawn.
This is my weed whacker. It's not yours. You don't use it. You don't
It's
know how to.
our weed whackers.
You
How are
know- You
yours?
might hurt yourself trying to use that weed whacker. So it's my weed whacker.
Is it our vacuum? Is it our mop or is it my mop?
It's yours.
It's my mop.
Like Wu-Tang, it's yours.
Is it my fabuloso or is it yours? It's his fabuloso. So, you know, we have these conversations and we can sit here and laugh about it, but at the end of the day, it is very serious, right? Because we're seeing all of these dysfunctional, broken households, and they are producing poor products, which are replicating the process of dysfunctional, broken households, and it's turning into a huge, bad feedback loop.
Yeah, there's you know, I don't want to bang on anybody, but
They about to bang on somebody.
no, there was just
Oh, shit.
just out here, different people who say different things, and we can name them. But basically, and from the women's standpoint, there was a saying that there was a lot of complaints about men, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How men are and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I give you that.
The
you
men
know.
had the bad rap, and now
I give you that. Men ain't a lot of men, man. A lot of men are shaky, man. I talk to some friends I still talk to from high school, man, and they really shaky. They shaky, you know, in their relationship life. But just being put together as an individual, as a productive individual in a society. So yeah, there is that. We know they exist. But the saying was said that raise your sons to be better men, right, for the society. Because that's really what we're doing out here. I mean, be fruitful and multiply.
yes,
Okay, that's what we're supposed to do. Everybody running around, I don't want kids, I don't want kids, I don't want kids. Fine. Step to the side. There is a power law that men and women will make kids because you need people to replace the people who are here on the planet Earth.
And we are below replacement.
We're
We
below-
are not black people, but
White
in the
people.
United States, they're below replacement, and they were the majority of the people. I think the Hispanics are now.
They're getting close. They're getting close. They're going to take over, I think. I have a number, but it's going to be quicker than they think. And, you know, when you build a community, people like that are, they're misfits in your community, right? You have a single woman in your community, what does she give to the community, really? You have a single man in the community, what does he give to the community?
And the problem is, I think, too, because you don't have the everyday experience and skill. Like adulting is a skill, and it
Skill.
has a resume to it. Being a wife is a skill. There's a resume that goes to it. Being a husband is a skill. There's a resume that goes along with it. And we're missing all of the understanding of that and the foundation of that.
Yep.
Right? So when we talk about adulting, when you get married and you have children, just the traditional way, and I know people are coming away from traditional ways, but there were rationales to it.
Mhm.
It was teaching you to move in a way where you consider others before you consider yourself. Not yourself, right? Nobody's saying that. But we are saying that you're moving in a way where the team's important. Women typically don't join the military and they typically don't play sports. So this is why we're seeing a significant amount of women who have the I mentality because they haven't been trained in sports, they haven't been trained in the military to understand the team effort and what goes along with that.
Yeah, because when you say the military, ultimately it's about getting the mission completed,
Yes.
right? It's not about who did what position you're in. We work together to get the mission completed. It's a must. And you learn that at a very young age when you're in the military. Same thing.
Sports.
Excuse me. Same thing in sports. You guys play sports. The ultimate goal is to win the game, right? You use basketball. Okay, you didn't get as many points as you like, but did you win the game, right? Do you want to look
Did your
bad?
2 points contribute to the win?
Right. Do you want to look bad winning or do you want to look good losing? And you got to ask people that because some people want to look good losing. It's in their mind. Well, I got mine. I did what I was supposed to. I did what I was supposed to do. Even though
mercenary mindset.
Mercenary mindset. And there's too many mercenaries out here walking the streets. And I'm so glad I'm married. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with these streets because it's a mess. The stuff that I hear, the stuff I read about, I'm like, it's a mess. It's a mercenary. I mean, it's mercenaries out there. That's why you got to build communities, small clandestine communities.
And the crypto community, I tell you guys all the time, it feels extremely single. We are looking for a lot more couples, a lot more families. Like Cousin Jake, that whole situation he got is very refreshing to us. With his daughters and getting them involved in Bitcoin, Mrs. Peach, getting involved in his trying to get off the ground. Those things are very important because they are that the narrative isn't necessarily true. It's just that the squeaky wheels are getting all of the oil. Yeah. They're not even getting any oil. They're just squeaking. You have a lot of married couple friends, and all of the wives are like, well, I'll have a dog in that fight, so you don't hear from us. Mm-hmm. I had these young girls, so I could talk to them, smooth out some of the poor narratives that are out there. Yeah. But in addition to Bitcoin affecting marital relationships, which is what we're talking about, they affect your siblings, they affect your parents, they affect, whoever it is you're supposed to be leaving things to. You want to have in your mind how you're going to do it. Now, you can't be like Jake said and just be like, yo, I ain't leaving it to nobody. My cousin ain't do nothing for me. My sister didn't do anything. My mother, whoever, especially right? You don't have a wife to speak of. You may not have any children to speak of.
Yeah, but
and then your Bitcoin just stays right there on the exchange.
But as you go through life, I'm just talking about Jake Few, what he said. You go through life, some businesses and stuff like that. You could leave it towards if somebody you were mentoring or something like, you might leave it a little, so they could get going. Because life goes on, and eventually you meet other people. We can't choose our family, as they say, but we can choose our friends, right?
You chose your family.
And sometimes your friends are more family than your actual friend. Somebody in the cut. It's new because people are just now, mm-hmm. Right?
So if you're asking yourself, right, as I'm working towards, we talk about a lot of generational wealth, and out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So we talk a lot about family. We talk a lot about family because it is always on the front of our minds. It's of our tongues. We want to know how is what you're going to affect your first community, which is your family, right? Your family is a community, believe it or not. Yes. And then that little dot that you created, then you can go outside of that and you have an external community, just like you have external family, and so on and so forth. In addition to Bitcoin, more to it than leaving your Bitcoin to somebody. The question is, are you a part of some type of Bitcoin education? Are you out here trying to provide some type of charitable or big contribution form? You don't have to be a content creator in order to contribute. This is just one way we're able to do it because we don't have direct access to the Black community in the United States, being that we are flag planting in another country. Yeah. But because we are blessed, right, we understand that there's a huge responsibility for us to impart our blessings in some way, shape, or form on others. And we analyze the failures, we analyze the success, we analyze the variables, we analyze the control. We are scientists, right? We consider ourselves to be scientists. And if we can kind of help you skip past all of that. See, Aretha. if we're able to somehow, some which way, shape, or form, help you not mitigate it, but just kind of reduce some of the time that goes into trying to figuring shit out, we would like to help do that, right? If we told you don't turn down that road because there's a cliff there, your car gonna fall off the cliff, you gotta get the winch in order to get the car out, it's very expensive. We're able to help save that kind of thing, then that's what we are attempting to do.
From a digital aspect, yes, that's very well said. We do run into a large amount of, as we call, I don't know, black people, usually from Honduras or Belize.
They don't know. They haven't even heard of Bitcoin.
Yeah, we run it, but we try to help them out best that we can, right? I'm not an Africanist, but I will help out our brothers, globally. Help out, do what I can,
That's as we can.
Yeah, so, we do what we can. We do what we can because we are blessed, as she said, we are blessed. So.
I want to shout out Cousin Mo, who's on here. Crip Work is listening.
Oh, Crip Work.
T. Willline Man for Hire, so shout out to the Simons. Now, T. Willline is saying that his old lady doesn't care about Bitcoin or any investments, so he doesn't argue with her about it anymore. It is what it is. And I think maybe Cousin T. Willline, maybe she would. One of the things we do, one of some of the things that she does, that we do with our sons, is they get tired from hearing from their professor father. Sometimes we have to get external voices to say what he said, but they would
say it differently.
Receive it better.
Receive it differently. They get
right?
tired of hearing me.
So maybe, your wife might take it maybe from another female. Maybe that might be more a better route, a better way for her to be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Maybe to hear it from a female perspective, that kind of thing. And if it's something that you want to explore, I'm here and I'll be willing to talk to her for you any day of the week.
Yeah.
Because she's our cousin too.
Yes, indeed.
If you care about her, then we care about her as well.
Yes, indeed.
Cousin Jake said y'all got 60 more years at least, but I understand what y'all mean. That's so funny. Kobe wasn't biblical, obey or honor thy parents. Nah, Kobe fell out with his parents and they couldn't even talk at the funeral, so I get that. T. Willon said, I get notifications from y'all personal channel, but not the GOC channel. That is crazy because I send it across all the bridges, but thank you for telling me that. And T. Willon said, she preaching now. If you too productive, she gonna say you too busy and need to make time. That's so funny. Women are crazy. We crazy. So yes, you're right about that. If you're not doing enough, you're not productive. If you're doing too much, you don't have time for me. It's a hot mess. By 2050, yes, America's going to be 40% Latino, but they said that number might be bigger than that because that is what they have documented. Cousin T. Willline, that's what they have documented. Think about the amount that they don't have.
Yeah, because they
documented.
With all these people,
60.
And all these people that let come in that analysis.
Nope.
So it's going to be quicker than they think. It might happen faster than they think.
And
people are going to be mad. It's going to be just.
And you're going to see the government's going to look different. But I personally feel, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I feel like they know that that's what's going to happen, so they decided to destroy it on the way out. Like the last FU on the way out, in a sense. Because they know that melanated beings are going to be the one who is in charge of the government, in charge of policy, and in charge of all of these things. And, the older Caucasians will no longer have that type of reign and power, so that they're allowing it to be destroyed. I sit and I watch BRIC policy. Simon and I, we have a watch list on all of the stuff that BRICS is doing, and it's almost like the U.S. could give a shit.
Yeah, they're not. What's their counter moves? The counter moves.
Like, there's no possible way they could care less about what's happening and why it's happening to say, well, it looks like people don't like us sanctioning them, so maybe we should change our foreign policy. No, we sanctioning y'all to the end, to the end, to the end, to the end. I watched this little reel on Facebook where they were showing you, like, what does Russia look like with the sanctions on it? And they're living their best life. They don't give a shit about no U.S. sanctions. They're living their very best life. They have their own wealth. They don't rely on the U.S. for anything. And they are living their very best life, like the elites and stuff like that, because Russia has a huge disparity in wealth.
Yes, it is.
But I just wanted to, like, there's nothing lost in the United States sanctioning them. So, you know, these are just some of the things that we wanted to just kind of discuss and talk about when it comes to relationships, whether it's siblings having to figure out how to disperse the Bitcoin or precious metal wealth that their parents left them, or if it's like you say, if it's the wife, if it's the DMX died, what, about 5-6 years now? No.
DMX died he died in April of 2021.
21? It's only been 3 years?
Yeah.
It feels long. Okay, so 3 years. And instead of the money going to the current girlfriend, it went to, I can't remember her name, it's Takesha, something like that. It went to the original wife and her children. And she didn't, I don't owe that girl nothing. I went through hell with him. And the money that I ended up getting, I deserved it. All right, cool. But we kind of see like wealth keeps getting all messed up because we don't have shit in order during our lifetime.
Don't have your paperwork in order. And put your paperwork in order.
And we don't discuss how our wealth affects other relationships.
And another thing we got to talk about, because I've seen it with my own two eyes, you've seen it with your own two eyes, is when you have at an older age and there's children coming back, you know, to get the wealth. Man and woman, these spouses get involved. And they got to say so on.
Yeah, your parents stuff. Like, who?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot, you know. It's like, well, you should do
Step
this.
to the left.
Yeah, you should do this, you should do that.
You should have been the one to make those decisions, you know, that kind of thing. It's typically wives. Men don't typically get involved like that. Mm-hmm. But if there's like 4 brothers and they all have wives, the wives each one to vie in order to get the most for their own. And it's like, that's not how we raised our sons. So that's not how this is about to go down, baby girl. I'll tell you that now. So I think that these discussions should happen more. I think that we should, I'm hoping that we can get this shit turned around, but I fear it's like the Titanic and we won't get to turn it around in time. I fear that that's what's initially going to happen. Like the generation's going to have to die off and die out before it can be properly restarted. Yeah. In the sense of a healthy situation, the idea is that 1 + 1 is 3, 4, 5, 6, however many, but we are one. Right? The funds are one. Whatever it is we're doing, we're one, and you're building this empire together, you're nation building together. I always talk to you guys about nation building and how important nation building is. We have 4 sons and we are raising them to be husbands. We're not raising them to be nobody baby daddy. Yeah. That's not what we're out here doing. I'm raising you to be a man of value first, and eventually you become a high value man. For those of y'all who don't like Kevin Samuels, whether you like him, love him, hate him, or feel indifferent about him, a lot of the points that he made they exist. Yeah. They exist. And they are points that he actually got from a white guy named Jordan Peterson. Now, Jordan Peterson's going to very nicely, he's going to say it, not politically correct, because that's not his thing. He's going to tell you the truth. He's going to say it. But he's just going to say it in a nicer, more palatable way. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's going to say it. And these things are hard. He's going to say it like an academic, right? Yeah, like he's going to say it in a more palatable way, a way that you can receive it. But if you are asking me to look at what's happening relationship-wise on its head, I am going to tell you that the number one problem in relationships is that there is no discipline. Y'all know I'm big on discipline. If relationships were approached with a lot more discipline, you would have a lot more healthy relationships. You would have a lot less trauma. You would have a lot less incidents and events and things that keep you from growing in a healthy way. Right? It's too many people just out here doing whatever they feel like doing, and then having to what you call it, the repercussions afterwards.
That's unfortunate.
And it's unfortunate. All right, y'all. We at the hour mark. We said we wasn't going to do too long of shows for you guys. Let Freedom Ring said Bitcoin will help with replacing future generations by giving people sound money.
Yep.
You have never, it's so accurate and so concise and clear the way you put that just now. And it is going to help give future generations stability. But like we say, wealth is comprehensive. It's not just about the money. It's about the people behind the money and their behaviors, their mindset. So you can have all of the sound money in the world, but if you don't understand how the sound money affects your relationships and your behavior in them, you can have a lot of problems, and you can eventually squander the sound money you spent so long building, right? Stairs up, elevator down. Not even elevator down. You just jumping out of a window.
And I forgot to mention this at the very beginning, so I guess I'll mention it at the end. This is part of your life portfolio.
It is part of your life portfolio.
Right? Relationships are part of your life portfolio, and you have intermingled relationships with investments, which is part of your life portfolio. So, you always got to be mindful of your life portfolio because it matters. It matters about your quality of life, things you do, right?
Yes.
And the way you raise your children. So this is what life portfolio stuff.
And that's the biggest thing is that if you're a parent, how much your children watch, right? And how much they emulate the things you do, the way you say it, how you do it, where you do it, when you do it. They emulate a lot of the ways you react and respond to things. And this is why we talk about generational curses, because they do copy and paste. They copy and paste. Good, bad, or indifferent. They're going to copy and paste. We have 4 sons, and every now and then we can hear our sons imitating their father. They all have like similar voices to him. So they'll, go back and forth, and, they're laughing, and dad says it's like this, and dad, this is how dad would do it, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But understand that even in jest, they are replicating a lot of the things that dad says, dad does, and the way dad thinks and comes to his formulated conclusions. So these are some of the things we need to discuss a lot more. And we need to have these discussions, and we need to start analyzing these things and talking about them and exploring them and understanding them so we can do our best to turn this big ass cruise ship around. And like I said, I fear that we won't be able to, but we're going to make every best attempt for people to see what healthy relationships are not perfect, right? But they're healthy. Right? Healthy hair is not perfect. It's just healthy. And it would help to change some of the narratives that people have who have never experienced that. They just think that submitting means I have to do everything you say and you're commanding me to do things. I said, I've been married for 23 years. I can't name a demand my husband has that is unreasonable. Right? So when you say, well, I don't want nobody telling me what to do. Aaron, I need you to set the restream up so we can go live.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is he demanding from me that is unreasonable? Or something that I couldn't be like, well, baby, I can't do that right now, but I get you later. That kind of thing. So, I don't know. But I think with the wealth conversation, it's important because it sounds to me as everybody's building separately, that there's going to be so much wealth that's just going to go back to the state, and that's the end of that.
Yeah. That's unfortunate because I've dealt with that. You've dealt with it. You got to fight. You got to fight hard against the state. I'm sure some of you guys may have dealt with that.
But it's really going back to the state because you're purposely not leaving it for a mate that you're not married to.
Right.
Children that you're like, well, I don't think this little boy mine anyway. So, all of these little nuances.
But a lot of it is people think they're not going to die.
That too.
Like, do you think you're going to live forever? I mean, have your stuff set up, man, because anything can happen on any given day. And you got to understand that.
Right, and something can change in a moment.
Somebody can go to the doctor and get some news like, man, you got 4 weeks to live. It's like,
but even when you're flag planting, like you want to move to this country and your wife don't want to change her lifestyle in said city that she lives in. And all of these discussions need to be had so that people can move towards more thriving lifestyles. I feel like too many people out here are surviving, right? They're doing everything they can to survive, and they're not doing enough to thrive. And have that high quality of life. Right? And anytime in any environment where you're thriving, there's huge sacrifices being made. And that's another discussion that's not being had. Everybody is looking at these glamorous lifestyles. It look like y'all do this and y'all do that, and you don't have to work hard, and you're not seeing all the hard work behind the scenes. They're just showing you the glamorous outcome. And you gotta understand, glamorous outcome is the glamorous outcome without all of the hard work that pushed you to this one moment in time where you're having a glamorous outcome. You're on this yacht. You're out in the city. You can drink what you want. You can eat what you want. You can stay at the nicest Airbnb. How many hours did you put in order to stay at that glamorous penthouse? How many nights were you up late planning and plotting in order to get your business going in a certain way that it pulls in and it reaps? How much planning, plotting, sacrifice, discipline, and consistency goes into creating 7, 8, 9, 10 streams of income? Y'all think creating multiple streams of income is like a done? Second stream of income done. Didn't have to put no effort into it. Third stream of income done. Didn't have to put no effort into it. Fourth stream of income done. No, it's hella work that goes into all of these things. And that's why we have the shows that we have. We talk about 12-week planning. We talk about how to establish your family. We talk about all of these different things because there's so much effing work that goes into a thriving, high quality, lots of points lifestyle. They keep wanting to show you all this glamorous shit, and I want to sit these people down like, yo, let me tell you how you get to the glamour. It's work. It's hella work. It is knuckles to the bone work. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of planning. It's trial and hella error. And I like to, we don't romanticize shit at all. And we want to tell y'all up front what it requires to get the outcome you are seeking, to get the desire that you have. It's a lot of work. And not only is it a lot of work, you have to be consistent in that lot of work, because there's days where you wake up and you be like, I don't do this shit anymore. But I have to so that I can do whatever I want to. And that's the part.
Yeah, you got to get your mindset too. And you might have a vision, and you'll hit the vision. You'll hit like, okay, I'm where I want to be. But you can't, like as they say, sit on your laurels. You got to keep on pushing. Like, okay, I need to make a new goal, and a new goal, and a new goal.
And we're doing this. Like, a lot of people are traveling and flag planting. When I say they're single, they're just a single couple, right? We have K through 12 in our house. And these things are not easy to do. You have people who rely on you. I'm going to quote Jay-Z, I got mouths to feed till they put flowers on me. So just the work and consistency and the push that you have to do. We're getting older. Y'all know, I told y'all in the beginning of the live, I got medical appointments that I have to go to today and tomorrow, because if I'm not healthy, we can't get nothing done for our children. I cannot help my husband if I'm not healthy. I must help me. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And vice versa. He can't protect me and provide for me and take care of me if he's not healthy. Okay. So these are discussions that need to be had. We need to be real about them and transparent about them. Look into the mindsets that go along with all of the different ways that we look at it, in order to get better outcomes, because the outcomes that we're seeing are not great outcomes, period. They're just not good outcomes.
Everybody's
complaining.
Let's check out the. Yeah, everybody is complaining.
The military divorce rate, Cousin T. Will, high as hell. You're lonely. You meet this thing, you get the butterflies in your stomach, and then when the butterflies are gone, you're ready to get that feeling again. So you're on to the next husband, next wife, and so on and so forth. Also, a lot of time apart, and that really put a wedge in relationships. So yeah, the military divorce rate isn't high. So our story is very inspiring. Married couples out here are struggling. The men are not financially strong. The wives not trying anything new, and it's true. These are good people, but they scared of the crypto world. Let freedom ring. So you're saying that they will destroy the Constitution? I think that they find great ways to undermine it as legally as possible, but they are trying to destroy it from the inside out. It's not outsiders trying to destroy the U.S. It's them themselves at the top trying to destroy it. I said I speculate. If you ask me why you think they would, I think they are because they know that they've lost control of it, and they're not going to be in control of it in the future. Like that legacy is done. But then you have like a President Bukele for his nation, who I feel like genuinely cares about the people.
Okay.
I mean, he's working hard for the collective. He must have played sports. I don't know what to tell y'all. But he's really got that team concept in mind as he runs his country. Jake Fever said Jordan Peterson soft as fuck, crybaby. Yeah, he cries a lot, right, Jake? But Kevin Samuels, when you hear his talking points, you know they come directly from Jordan Peterson. We follow Jordan Peterson. We listen to it. Yes, he cries a lot, but he is he's very good at what he does.
Yeah, and his knowledge base
is above and beyond his counterparts. But yes, he cries all the time. We get it. He cries a lot. But Jordan Peterson, all of his talking points came from Jordan Peterson. All of them. Every single last one of them. Except maybe buy a dog and die alone. Yeah. That one probably didn't come from Jordan.
Yeah, he just took his framework and put it into his own framework.
Yeah, and he's
speaking to the black community. So where things were worse off, Jordan Peterson's not speaking to the black community.
But two, I don't like, and I'm gonna end my little rant here. I don't like the idea that, get it, right? The women don't want no average, I don't know. But the idea that you're going to meet a high value man, and this is how much women don't know about men, right? So let me tell you ladies, if you want a high value man, you don't understand the demand that comes with that. If you want a high value man to spend money on you, that is a job function. It's a role. It comes with a very specific job description that many of you women do not qualify for. And that's the end of that. Okay, my husband has very specific standards for his wife. The way she goes out, the way she looks, how she conducts herself. I am supposed to be his royal diadem, okay? And that crown has to look as though it gotta be fly, right? And I don't mean aesthetically, but yes, aesthetically, right? I like to know that my husband thinks he has a good-looking wife, and when we go out, people agree with that. But I need my wife to have knowledge base in certain things. I'm building a brand. My helpmeet has to be able to contribute in this way and in that way.
Okay.
And when you are able to meet your job role and job function and hopefully exceed the man's expectations, then yes, he's gonna give you whatever you want. Very few women are able to meet and exceed those expectations. One of the things I have running in my favor is that I built it with him. I didn't meet him at 43 and now like, oh, you got hella Bitcoin and all of these assets and all of these precious metals. Yeah, I want you to spend on me, and I'm going to squander all of the money you spent decades building. No man, no high value man's going to let y'all do that.
Yeah,
I don't know why y'all think that that's what they're out here. They just tricking on you like that.
Yeah,
they're not.
And for my people out there, if you didn't catch that article about our good brother LeBron James, I ain't going to go over through the whole article, but he came home after a long day. He just asked his wife, will you just rub my feet? And she said, sure, honey. That's what
You think
gotta do.
LeBron James can't afford a masseuse to rub his feet? He want his wife to do it. Sabrina, is her name Sabrina? I think it's Savannah. Savannah, she will tell you I have a very specific resume that I do for my husband, and that's why we've been married since high school. Not married since high school, but they've been together since high school. But
You think he got nice feet?
No, I don't think he does. But I take care of your feet. I take care of my husband's feet. I rub his feet. I clip his toenails. I make his feet nice. I give him spa level care for his feet stuff because his hurt. My husband's feet hurt. I get on the ground, and that's why you got to be in shape too. Stuff your husbands be wanting to do, and not just sexually, just in general. You just got to be in shape and be able to do what he needs done. My husband has bad feet from playing basketball and football, and I take care of his feet. They do that, I'll take care of it because I don't want no other woman rubbing your feet making you feel good no way. L1L said awesome, but it's the truth, right? You know, I remember my girlfriend was like, your husband got all that money and he make you rub his feet? I'm happy to rub his feet. L. But basically she was just saying like you can just go get it done, L. But right? Yes, I get down on the floor and I rub his feet. I get the lotion, I get the topical cream, I get the Epsom sauce, whatever he need, I do. And a lot of the problem is y'all want to spend up his money, but you don't want to do what it takes to cultivate the relationship, and that is the problem. It's all about you, and in a relationship, it has to be all about us. I for you and you for me.
There we go.
But we gotta go.
Yeah, let's hit these comments.
And he didn't make you. It's a pleasure. Yeah, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. But he needs it, right? So that's important to me. And we're gonna holler at y'all later. Mamba out.